Men respond to energy. In fact, how a man communicates is through energetic frequencies. I know I said I was going to talk about codependency tonight, but I changed my mind. I want to talk about men and energy and the entire conversation that is happening in the ether between the two of you. Okay? We'll do a codependency webinar later. We're going to talk about the language of men. The language of men is energy. It's energy. It's in what's not being said. It's what's being felt through your energetic body, through the wavelengths. Why is this? See, women think in 2025, it's so upsetting. Women are being programmed to believe through all of these courses, all of these seminars, and all of these polarity programs and teachings that a man's emotional EQ is so much lower and less than a woman's. That's simply not true. Men and women operate from two different operating systems, okay? A man is on an Android, a woman is an iPhone. Two different operating systems, different software settings, different applications. What happens when you text from an iPhone to an Android? It shows up differently. It looks differently on your screen. Boom. That's the energetic system between a male and a female. Now, let's take it one layer deeper. Women have been projecting on men through all of these false light teaching templates that they have a lower EQ, that, oh, well, if my man doesn't know how to open up, then he's emotionally stunted. If my man doesn't know how to talk about his feelings, he's emotionally stunted. If my man doesn't express through verbal communication what he wants, what he needs, he's emotionally stunted. It's simply not true. Women need to stop projecting on men to have the same server and the same biological differences. We are biologically different. We have different brains, we have different functions, we have different everything, okay? So, less is always more with men. Less is always more with men. Less is always more with men. If you study men out in the wild, because let's be honest, it is wild out here. We are in the wild. Here we are, and they are just wilding out. How do they speak to one another? How do they share with one another? I'm not saying that men are not capable of having a heart-to-heart conversation. I'm certainly not saying that a man cannot go deep with you. I'm not saying there aren't moments where it is appropriate for him to hold space. I'm not saying that there are moments where you are going to have a long all-night conversation. I'm not saying that those moments don't happen. Those moments happen organically when you've built a strong, steady foundation, when your solar system orbit around each other is both in balance. So not only are you speaking from two different operating systems, you're speaking from two different solar systems. So imagine you also operate from your blueprint, and your blueprint is like a very live solar system, okay? So you're orbiting his field, he's orbiting your field, right? And the trick is you want to come into harmony and you want to stay into harmony, right? So let's say, so here you are, boom, 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 right? And we're like singing like this really nice, this is good, right? And you know when your spin rotation goes off because you feel it, because all of a sudden it's like, right? And you go out of harmony with one another. How you stay in energetic balance and synthesize both your fields when you go out of harmony with one another is you have to come into your independence. And what I mean when I say independence is your sovereignty. The thing about human beings in this collective is we struggle so much with spiritual warfare. We struggle so much with cosmic warfare that our sovereignty is constantly being pressed against. There's so much resistance for us to have this beautiful awakening balanced, sustainable, new way of going about being human. We're constantly being threatened by this sort of outside influence, and it can be very distracting. But we're still responsible for our awakening. We're still responsible for our balance, and we're still responsible for how you orbit in your own solar system. So independence is key to coming out of codependency. Independence is key to coming out of over-sacrificial, like self-martyring, motherly energy, right? First of all, a man does not need you to be his mother. A man needs you to be his lover. And the moment you shift from lover to mother, you've lost the sexual spark that's supposed to keep your sun and stars and moon all going in this really yummy, juicy, energetic thread. So signs of mothering are, I'm going to pour everything into you. I'm going to put you before myself. I'm going to sacrifice my day, my time, my energy, my punani. I'm going to sacrifice everything, my job, my career, my dreams, my children. I'm going to sacrifice everything for you. And I'm going to make you the sun to my solar system. You are now my world. You are my everything. First of all, that is so much freaking pressure for anyone to sustain. At first, he might say yes to it. Why? Because it feeds his ego. See, you have to know how to feed a man's ego to keep him in the nook with you. You know, the nook where it's just like, the yummy, and we're just kind of staying in the yummy, that place, that's the nook. So he might enter the nook through you martyring yourself and doing everything for him. But he will slowly resent you and see you as worth less than you actually are. He will depreciate your value because you've just done too much. You're disabling him and treating him like a child. So now he's going to act like one, right? You treat a man like a child, he will behave as such, period. So when you do too much, you might initially pull him in. And then what's going to happen is he's going to feel like he's in a prison. He's going to be like, ooh, yay, cookies. Ooh, sex. Ooh, love. Ooh, nurturing. Ooh, you did all you folded my clothes. Oh my God, you like set my schedule. Oh, you got my doctor appointments. He'll take it from you. But he doesn't respect you for that. That's not how you gain a man's approval, love, respect, or trust. So what will happen is he'll just go boom, he'll revert into childhood. You left the seat of lover, you left the seat of sexy, independent female, you left the seat as partner, and you became the overdoer. You became his mother. So now he goes into, you became the mother. So now what does he have to do? To meet you in mother, he has to become the child. The funny thing is you started it. See, women love pointing to men and saying, oh, they're such a man-child. Oh, he's this, he's that. But how often, ladies, do you go into trying to earn a man's love? How often, ladies, do you go in trying to prove to him how valuable you are? See, the thing is if you spread your identity equally among all of the areas of your life, this is what I mean by that. You know, in the New Age, they're always saying like, oh, like, how you identify, not like in the woke culture of like, I identify as a clown. No, I'm talking about like you wrap your identity in motherhood. Like all you are is a mother. That's beautiful. Motherhood is purposeful. It's spiritual. It's to be of service. But when your only identity is motherhood, you've dropped out all the other layers of who you are. And then as those children grow older and they're less dependent on you and then they leave your house, what are you left with? Nothing. You're whittled down because you poured everything into your children. You put them before your love life. You put them before your sex life. You put them before your money game. You put your kids first. You put your husband first. When you put your children first and you put your man first, you fall out of orbit so fast. I've never believed that parents should put their children first. Never. I've never believed in putting your children first. Your children do not come first. You are a role model to show them living a balanced life. In fact, the more you love yourself, the more you take care of yourself, the more you have balance, the more you encourage your children at a very young age to be independent, the more confident they will become, and the more secure they'll be in the world, and the more successful they will be in the world, because you did not disable their power because, oh, mommy's going to tie your shoe again. No, you're old enough to tie your own shoe. Might take you longer. We can wait. Mommy's going to hire the maid to clean your dishes. You're old enough to scrape your food off the plate and rinse your plate. See, we baby people in this culture in the West. And it's so sickening and it's so maddening. And do your children appreciate you? Do they listen to you when you baby them? Do they respect you? Do they follow the rules? Do they walk all over you because you do too much? When you do too much, people will take it. See, this is what you don't get. You think they're going to take it and then give you something back. That's giving to get. You do too much, you give to get something, you're left with nothing, you're left depleted, you're left dry, underappreciated, and wanting more validation, wanting more appreciation. It never works that way. It's the same with men. You treat a man like a baby, he acts like a baby. He wants the tit, he wants the food, he wants the punani, he wants everything, he wants your whole body, he wants everything you have to offer. But you've disabled him. You treat someone like they're 7 for long enough, they will behave like a 7-year-old who's helpless, dramatic, disgruntled, unappreciative. Because you see people as powerless and you secretly need them to need you. Here's the ugly truth. Under you needing to be needed, whether it's in your gift of healing, your gift of holding space, your gift of wisdom, your gift of insight, you need to be needed so bad it comes through this distortion where it plugs into your ego of you can't do it without me. You're not okay without me. I'm your source. I'm your source. I feed you. I give you love. I give you nutrients. I give you attention. I take care of you when you're sick. I show up for you. I care about you. I pour. You need me. See, there's a healthy, balanced level of needing and being needed. But most people step out of that balance very quickly and fall into the distorted, fallen version of neediness. I need you to need me is the killer of all prototypes. I need you to need me is the killer of all prototypes. It never ends well on that note. Because you're outsourcing your significant other to now be your source, or you're outsourcing yourself to be their source. So you plug in. Basically, we're going to go through the whole thread of all of the topics, right? It's like we're touching on codependency. We're touching on why men become babies when we baby them. We're touching on the overachiever in the relationship who gives and pours and does and sacrificial. You're just so sacrificial. Why? Here's the hard, ugly truth. Number 2, because you don't have a life. And that's sad. You're only identified with one thing, loving my husband, taking care of my children. That's it. You've whittled down to nothing. How's that going for you? Do you have a hot body? Is your mind sharp? Are you funny? Do you make good money on the side? Do you go to the gym? Do you eat really good food? How is this going for you? Pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring and martyring yourself for others. So people will become addicted to being fed, even if they're being fed louche, even if they're being fed, a distortion, because you're just feeding off of each other. So I kind of went back and forth with like codependency. The issue is this. You're putting your relationship with other and you're turning it into an idol and you're putting it on a pedestal up here. And you're like, this is everything and more. Like, look at this. Like, I got a man. I got married. I had my first child. Laissez. And you put them up on a pedestal. You start to idolize it as your source. But the thing is a human or an object or a person can never fill you with the light of God. It's your personal connection to source that fuels you with your destiny. And when you disconnect from source and you look at your person as like, that's your final destination, your children are your destination. Like, all I am is a mother and a wife. Again, I want you to hear what I'm actually trying to say. I'm not belittling motherhood. I'm not belittling homemakers. I'm saying you don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to have a job and motherhood and wife. You can be a wife and a mother. And I would still say, don't identify as only that. If you put your whole identity in being of service to your children and to your husband, and that's it, and there's nothing else, like, what is your passion, right? Because you need purpose and passion to fuel you for the long run. You need purpose and passion to fuel you for the long run. Because if your purpose is mothering, and then the children get older and then they're gone, that's it. You have no passion left. Like, what else is there? If your purpose is to be a wife, and that's also your passion, your husband walks out on you. Your husband gets sick. Your husband dies. Then what? That's it? Your life is over? So many of you are trying to write one song for the duration of your entire life, thinking these two things are going to complete me forever. But you don't realize there's many chapters to the book of your life. And you want to spread your self-identity into different areas. So think about what I said at the beginning. You're like this solar system, right? So that's your blueprint. And each part of your blueprint has a different house. It has a different planet, okay? I'm not talking about astrology. I'm not an astrologist. I don't touch that dark magic. I'm talking about your God-ordained blueprint, but I'm using the metaphor of a universal, like, solar system. Like, so you can have like a really beautiful visual, okay? And there's these different houses of your solar system. And there's these different rotations. And there's these different, passions and hobbies and expressions. You are so multifunctional. Don't limit yourself to motherhood and being a wife and exploiting your relationships and turning them into false idols when you will always be underappreciated, undervalued, and drained for all that you have. That's self-martyrdom, right? So you need to have independence. You need to have an identity within your whole, like, what does your blueprint call for you? What does it call you to do? Right? Like there's seasons in motherhood where you're bunkering down, like last portion of pregnancy, first 3 years of that child's life. Like, you are bunkered down. That's a season. Guess what? That child's going to turn 5 and go off to school. Then what? Okay, or you homeschool them. They're 18. Now they leave. Then what? Do you see what I'm saying? Are we together? So you have to have your identity actually needs to be spread out through all of the amazing components that God gave you. We are multidimensional, multifunctional, multifaceted beings. And we're exploring this new dimension of reality in which women are getting married and having full-time careers and having children. And we are capable of doing all of it. We are capable of so much more expression and so much more creativity. And a man responds to energy. It's their language. They're not less emotionally intelligent than women. If you think of telepaths, that's a very high functioning language. You don't even have to open your mouth to speak. You can just think your thought, think your emotion. And let's say we're in a different dimension, okay? A dimension where it's telepathic. you can express more accurately and precisely without the use of verbal communication through telepathy, because telepathy isn't English. Telepathy is all of the emotional notations existing in the emotional body being sent as data, and then that data is being absorbed and felt through the mind, through the consciousness, and through the body. That's telepathy. This is a high level language to be able to perform. When you only speak in verbal language, like you know me, I'm always going to use like sounds and facial expressions and my hands, because I can express so much more precisely and accurately the wisdom or the concept that spirit is expressing through me by using all of these other variables, because language is so inaccurate in this one-dimensional form of English. So if you think of men as preferring a language that's not quite telepathic, but it's definitely not English, he's kind of in between here, babe. I'm going to crack this code for you. And it's so unfortunate for the people who didn't want to make it this long into the video, because like this is where it's going to get good. He's right between here. He's between verbal English and full-on telepathy. But where do women try to mostly take men? They try to make him come here. Look at what that does to your head. Imagine this is a spirit. Okay, this is the male spirit, and here's the female spirit, and she's like, sucks him over here. Look at, he's just like headbanged into her wall, and it's like, it's confused, and it's like, look at how she's like sucking on him. This is what a woman does to a man when she says, I want to talk about my feelings and about my problems and about what you did to me and about how could you do that to me, and then I can't believe it. And I texted you and you didn't text me back. And then, I have a problem. We need to have a chat tonight. And then you did the things. And it's like you're sucking his brains out of his top of his head. Okay? This is what you're doing. Not fun. So when you're done sucking him and then he comes out of that, he's completely malnourished. He's completely depleted. He's completely disoriented. You have single-handedly disoriented your male counterpart through actively forced communication and emotional molestation. I'm going to finger you until you tell me how you feel. She really just said that. Yeah, I really just said that. Emotional molestation. Women want to know why men are fed up with us and why they stopped trying and why they stopped caring, because too many women before you tried to molest the emotions out of him and tried to force him to communicate in a language that is beneath his emotional intelligence. You tried to force a sympathetic, empathetic, energetic, slightly scared, conflict avoidant, loving telepath and subjugated him to low-level, meaningless, chaotic, noisy, overstimulating drainage. You rotted him. Men are sympathetic. Men are sensitive. Men are less resilient than women. When a man gets bent out of shape, it's very hard for him to come back into organized balance. Men are extremely extremely sensitive. They feel everything. They understand what is happening around them. They may be nonverbal, but they are feeling. They are sensing. They are comprehending. So there we are. We're out in the wild. Look at these men. They're like gorillas, okay? They beat their chest. They literally plump it up when they're trying to impress you. It's a biological nuance. They can't help it. When they like you, when they're in love with you, they'll literally like pull their chest up and they'll start to flex their muscles. They'll start to go into their mating dance to try to woo you over with their energy. Right? So why do I always say to an annoying amount that less is more with men? Because how do they speak to us? What is this ghosting phenomenon? What's the ghosting thing about, ladies? We've all been ghosted. This is also this is why women are so broken, by the way. The ghosting, it's so awful. It's so terrible. So they ghosted you. Why? You think he didn't communicate to me. Yes, he did. In his silence, after the last communication that you had, his silence spoke volumes. It was a communication. It was a non-verbal, physical, actionable communication with an energetic charge that spoke directly and clearly to you, to the heart of you, what his mindset is. He spoke. Telepath. He spoke it through his energy. His silence speaks volumes. That's why men respond to women, not when she's click-clacking like a chicken. Too much input. Too much input. You're melting the hard drive, sister. You are melting his hard drive. Instead, you compose your energy. You pull it all together. You unthread yourself from him. In the spirit, I disconnect from your spirit. I disconnect from your soul. I disconnect from your mind. I untie all soul ties. See, people think, I don't want to do that. We're married. I'm going to lose him. No, it is spiritual hygiene to remain sovereign. I'm sorry, but religious dogma is very outdated. It's old revelation about spirit merge and becoming one with your partner. In fact, I think that's where a lot of people are learning codependency, and they're getting very, 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 very confused about merging. When you've merged and it's gone dark like this, or he ghosts you like this, or he goes silent, or he walks away, or he just disappears on you, he's checked out of the building, the light is on, but nobody is home. He is non-responsive. He is non-communicative. He has pulled his energy. He's not treating you like he's in love with you anymore. He's not treating you like he's committed to you anymore. His silence is speaking volumes. And you think that we need closure. We need to communicate. We need to verbalize. We need to express ourselves. Sweetie, he did express himself. Did you pick up all of those notations? So your response when he pulls back his energy is you reclaim yours. Okay. I can see that you stepped away. This is an internal process for women. You're doing this by yourself. You're not saying this to him. You're not texting him. You're not writing him an email. You're not calling him. You're not showing up at his work. You're not following him around. No. You're going internal and you're going, okay, I can see that you pulled back. I can feel what you are saying to me. I can feel everything, because we are emotional, energetic beings as well, aren't we, ladies? I got what you're putting down. Ouch, this hurts. This didn't feel good. I'm going to stop doing too much. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to reclaim my energy. I'm going to pull all of my energy back. I'm going to untie these soul ties. I'm going to disconnect from your consciousness, your spirit, your heart, and your soul. I'm going to remain sovereign. I'm going to come back into my solar system. I'm going to come back into my balance. I'm going to come back into my sovereignty. And I'm going to start to remember and remind myself where I identify before you came into my life. I identify as a creative, as an entrepreneur, as a gym rat, as a chef, as a mother, as a sexy ass lover, as a money maker. I mean, you start remembering all of the notations and all of the gifts and all of the pleasures God has set up for you to enjoy and experience in this lifetime. In other words, stop making your whole entire identification in life about your man, about your children. You have one pure source, and that is the Creator who created your spirit. That is the author of your blueprint. And when you can come into coherency with your blueprint, that is when you start living your destiny. And you start realizing there are chapters, there are doors, there are bridges. This is a multi-dimensional solar system, and every single choice point can bring you into a different part of the journey. But you throw away everything that you love about your life when you step into union with someone. And the moment you've done that, you've already lost him. The catch-22 with the male brain and the male spirit is he both does not want to be responsible for you or your happiness, and he wants to feel like he is the reason why you're happy. Do you see the dilemma there? A man does not want to be responsible for your joy, but he wants to feel like he is the entire reason that you have joy. But the truth of the matter is men are attracted to joy. Right? Why? Because joy is the Holy Spirit. And our Bible tells us that the man should be following the Holy Spirit. But if the Holy Spirit is activated in the female, then who's leading who? He's following her joy because she's encompassed it. She's embodied it. She's perfected it. She's living it. She's living the joy right now. She's connected to the joy right now. It doesn't matter what life throws at her. She still has joy. But you make him your happiness. So then when he shows up with energy and with presence, you're like, I'm happy. And when he can't the next day, I'm unhappy. And you have all these tally marks. Today I was happy because you made me happy. Today I was unhappy because you made me unhappy. Today you came and then you didn't come. And today you showed up and you're like measuring how much he's capable of showing up for you. And it's exhausting. It's like Castaway, and there's like all these tally marks of your measurements, you know, and he's like on a deserted island and you're just like needling him. It's like Chinese water torture for these men to deal with us inside partnership because we've forced them against their free will to emote and express. We've told them to go to therapy. We use BS therapy lingo with them. We feminize them. Right? So the catch-22 is, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I that's fine. Take what you want from this and leave the rest behind. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Men want to feel like they are the source of your happiness whilst also not being responsible for your happiness. It's an ego thing. You stroke their ego through your own joy. You light up a space. You light up a room. You are resilient. You bounce back. You heal. You overcome grief. You stand up again and again and again and again. Your resilience, your joy is their truth. It's their freedom. When they know no matter what life throws at you. I mean, come on, women, you're so strong. You survived all of that sexual abuse. You survived all of the F-boys out there. You've survived this culture that has completely died. You've survived spiritual abuse. You've survived narcissism. You've survived physical abuse. You've survived all of it. They are in awe of our stamina. They are in awe of our resilience. They want our joy. Men are in awe of women because we are so beautiful. We are so stunning. We overcome all of these things and we still stand up and we still believe in Jesus. The devil tried to rape you. You still believe in Jesus. The devil tried to take your money. You still believe in God. Women are so much more stronger than men could ever be emotionally. We bounce back. That's what men are looking for. They're looking for resounding, astounding women who bounce back. Because in the moment you've bounced back, that's when he has an awakening. You've become a role model. You've become exquisite. In his eyes, he sees you differently. You overcome something like a champion. You've maintained your joy no matter what life throws at you, no matter what Satan throws at you, no matter what the Matrix throws at you. You have joy with or without him. And whatever part of his ego in those lower fields want to be your source and your idol, that all starts to dissolve within him because he knows you're different. I'm not everything and more to you. You don't need me in a needy way. You have sovereignty, you have independence, you have elegance. You're attractive. But I can offer you something. I can offer you that same energy back because look at the way he's gonna right now I'm being the male. Look at the way I'm gonna take care of myself. Look at the way I'm gonna go fight for that bread. Look at the way I'm going to live to my fullest potential. See, a woman has the power and the godliness to inspire a man to want to be his best possible version. And it's never for doing everything for him. That is so disabling. Codependency, they call it enabling the bad behavior. I call it disabling. You disable people from their power and their connection to source by filling in God's shoes and becoming their everything and more. It's false romanticism. It's not romantic. It's not cute. It's not energizing. It's depleting. See, when she stays in that balance with her own solar system and he orbits out, because he's still in that codependency and he wants the needy attention girl, that's all going to start to crumble. Because the baseline system for the balance... Did we unpause? So what I just said is the baseline system for the balanced feminine is the Holy Spirit and you leaning into all of the attributes God has given you to express in this lifetime beyond motherhood and beyond being a wife. And again, there are seasons where you really bunker down to hold down that fort. Yeah, those first 3 years of life, yeah, that's intense. You're gonna have to partner up in a certain way there. But I'm so sick and tired of seeing couples miserable that are married, that are living together. It's so sad. I'm so tired of seeing unhappy couples. I'm so tired of seeing people so depleted in the rat race. Lean into your creativity. Lean into your artistry. Channel your energy somewhere. Live a life that you're proud of. Live a life that you love. Like, change your lifestyle. Change your career if you have to. You've got one shot at this. And in order to maintain that solar balance, you have to love your life and all aspects of it. And find just as much joy when you haven't seen him or you're not with your kids that weekend. Why, I'm going to say something harsh and a little brutal for you parents, like, why waste your time in separation anxiety when you don't get to see your partner, when your kids are gone? Go enjoy your time to just be with God. Go enjoy your time to just light a candle, like the simple things. Find your pleasure in life and maintain doing the things that give you pleasure. And don't sacrifice what makes you happy, what lights you up. See, the thing is, a man falls in love with a woman and then she changes the moment the commitment is there. You trick him and then trap him. Relationships are a business deal. Relationships are going into business with someone. That is a business partnership. It matters how you show up. And this concept of like, he's not showing up and he has to be 100% every day and I give it 150, I give it 150. Well, if he's giving you 150, then how much energy is left for his career, for his pursuit of financial success, for his pursuit of buying a house? These are warped romantic notions that completely keep you stuck, broken, confused. And unfortunately, there's a lot of bad teachings out there right now that are programming women to behave in like the most insane way. It's so sad. Like, the mental health industry has completely warped. I mean, they're as bad as the feminist movement on how they are trying to change the male species. It's like genetically modifying them into a format that has never ever been their thing. They're energetic beings. If you want to correct a man, it's in what you don't say. It's in your silence. It's in your internal. I'm not saying it out loud. I'm so disappointed in this situation. He got it through the ether. You have so much more power when you can condense what you want to say into just statement. I'm not going to entertain being treated like I'm not a priority. So I'm going to treat myself the way I deserve right now. And the moment I'm not being treated the way that I deserve, I'm going to go do something that feels good to me. Healthy coping mechanisms. Stop checking out on the weed. Stop checking out on the alcohol. Stop checking out on the drugs. Stop checking out on the food coma, the television. Check back in. This hurts. I'm going to ride this out. I'm going to go on a run right now. I'm going to run through. I'm going to move my body and move this anxiety out of my body. I'm going to move this rejection out of my body. What stays in motion stays in motion, right? Movement. It's not about talking more and draining all of your essence through rumination and anxiety and spiraling out. It's about moving your body and connecting to all of the things that give you safety, love, and fulfillment in your life. And stop idolizing a man in a romantic partnership to be the thing that's going to save you, fix you, heal you, fill the void. It's like God fills that void, and then he gives you things in life with purpose and with passion to correct and to connect and to heal and to dissolve and to move and to ooze and to play and to pleasure. And it's like when you are a little more self-involved, ladies, because they're completely self-involved. They do what they want all of the time. Is that a bad thing? They take care of themselves all of the time. They put themselves first all of the time. So now the question is, remember when we thought that we were so much more emotionally intelligent than these men in the wild? What if they are just spiritually so wild and we have been convinced that the male awakening was going to look so different that we've totally missed what's in front of us, what's available to us now? We're like waiting for this like Christ consciousness, like, right? This king energy, this man that just shows up and shows out and is always romantic and 10 shades of whatever. Like, we're like, what, huh? What of his stillness? What of his motivation and like what it, like, you are his muse is the point I'm trying to get at. Like, be his muse. You are dating yourself for the rest of your life, treating yourself for the rest of your life exactly how you want to be treated. Because at the end of the day, the only one that's guaranteed in every chapter of your book is your own spirit, because shit happens. I've missed you guys too. It's nice to be with you. I'm on a vibe right now. Right? Men take care of themselves. They prioritize what they want to do. You should too. Oh, but the house didn't get cleaned? Great. Let's get a maid. Listen, our consciousness evolved. Women have evolved. The dynamics are different now. So no old template, no old posture, no old fossil, no ancestor is going to have the information required on how to house the level of expansion. We do more now. We experience more now. We have more travel than we've ever seen because of the amount of, people going on Instagram and hashtagging and YouTube videos and inspiring a collective to see the world, to experience different cultures and different foods. We are experiencing more at a more rapid rate than ever before. So we have to think newly and differently about what it means to come into union with someone. Live your own balanced life. And when you're out of balance, come back into it. What's your 1, 2, 3, steps? What are your 1, 2, 3 steps of correcting your solar system when you're out of orbit and you're like flopping around in your life? Go to God, connect to that source, your creator, disconnect from all other sources around you. You go into routine. What are the mundane things you can do? Move the body, always. What you're putting in the body. Don't check out, check in. Don't check out, check in. Move the body. Right? Okay, God, here I am. I'm posturing myself before you. Here's what's going on. I feel sad. I feel heartbroken. I feel rejected. I feel neglected. I feel stressed. I feel fear. You position yourself and now you're in front of God. But notice you're moving. You're putting the right supplements. You're sleeping. You're getting up early. You're going to the gym. Like, stop missing your physical structure. Like, it's the key to all of your happiness. It's the key to getting out of oppression, depression, frustration, and fear. It's the key. You have to open the fascia. You have to breathe air in the lungs. You have to move the trauma out of the body. You have to move the energy through your field, right? He gave you silence. He said everything in his silence. That hurt. Now I have to move my body. I have to clear that message, that data out of my body. And guess what? He gets the signal. And he knows she got my message. She's clearing it. We don't know what's going to happen next. Now, do we? But as long as you're concerned about your own spin rotation, whatever's meant for you will get synergized with, well, I don't want to say it that way. I actually delete saying that. That's a topic for a different day. But synergize your own field first. There's a way, if you're in partnership with someone, where you can synergize your fields together at the field level and then kind of bring things back into orbit. Does that make sense? Are our minds blown? They're like these energetic, deeply sensitive, raw, emotional, deeply loving creatures who have been so misunderstood and forced and emotionally raped and psychologically gaslighted and forced against their will to go to therapy, take medication. I mean, men have a higher suicide rate. Men have a higher, addiction rate. Men have a higher rate of going to prison. Men are so misunderstood, and we have just turned them into this really, really sad state. And they've lost their awe for the feminine. I'm talking about just like the fullness of what is going on in our world at this time. So it's a call for women to return to being the muse and entertaining herself. And learning his language codes, which is energy. And I don't know about you, but that's like an easier language for me to speak as well. I can be so much more accurate with my energy. I can be so much more mature, cautious, and wise. If we're talking with energy, I can meet you there. Like, I can do that dance. Yeah, it's a process, and you have to reel back the bitch, and reel back the overdoer nice girl who's like begging for attention. You have to reel all of that in and just come back to, I love myself. God loves me. God has purpose over my life. Here I am. It's all going to be okay. Don't fret when there's friction. Friction is the moment orbit's going to get pulled out, and the magnetic the magnetic poles are going to get ripped, and then they get pulled out of your solar system. So friction is the moment before that pulling out happens. But don't be so afraid of the pulling out. It's like you almost have to just trust that all of this is a lesson, and this is your growth, and this is a moment for your own self-reflection to look at, how did we get here? And I'm not saying that men are off the hook for having crappy boundaries. I'm not saying that men don't start stuff with women. I'm not saying that they are like the most evolved, you know what I mean? But I wanted to give some perspective of their evolution and have you see it in a different light. And perhaps, unfortunately, the way the world taught you to engage with men has been wrong, and it's caused quite the dilemma and quite the problem, where men are really sick and tired of women and are, not as interested in committed relationships, yada, 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 yada. Okay? So I'm trying to repair the fields through conversation, through simple perspective shifting, which is really a brain rewiring, through this sort of shared space platform. I think, this is not me dropping opinions. This is me, if you know the style of my work, when I speak, when Holy Spirit is moving me to speak, the speech itself is doing something to correct things that are broken in the field. So that's why I say the things that I say, and I say them very strongly, and I say them with a lot of conviction, and I say them very specifically. So that's just my style, but you'll catch on to it if you're not used to me yet. I think that's it. Yeah. The language of men is energy. And it's the language of spirit. It's the language of truth. It's the language of full expression. It's all energetics. Less is more. And I think it's actually time for women to stop draining themselves so much by by ruminating and sharing and vomiting. She's just like losing all of her essence and all of her muse energy and all of her power. Like this is the brain on fire. This is like the brain on inflammation. This is like everything's inflamed and irritated when she goes into that like trauma response space. So it's really about just collecting your energy and conserving your energy and working on your own orbit. And then once you're orbiting, like it makes spaciousness for his solar system to come back together if that's what's meant to happen, right? Okay. I love you so big. I hope this made sense. I know it made sense. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Love you guys. I'll be back. I'm going to just keep doing little short videos for you and like keep seeding this information in. Good night.